So I am fourth generation on this farm. My great-grandfather bought it during the Great Depression in the 1930s, so we're just coming up on 100 years. I graduated from high school in 2000, so now everybody knows how old I am. But I graduated from high school in 2000, took some time off, traveled overseas, and eventually came back to the farm after I finished up my straight business management degree with a kind of a double focus in tourism and hospitality and also marine ecology, which is kind of ironic because here in south central Wisconsin you can't exactly use any kind of marine ecology background at all. But the thing that I tell people is how I treat the farm and how I treat the land and the building has an immediate effect on everybody that's downwind and downstream from us. And so it's kind of a shout to just tying everything together. After I spent some time overseas, I came back to the farm with the idea of pursuing rotational grazing. So the cows are out on grass through the spring, summer, and then the fall. And the biggest change for us definitely occurred in the year 2017. So just 3 years ago, coming up on 4 years ago. My mom passed away, which was kind of on the heels of my dad passing away. And so in April of 2017, we recognized two things. We recognized that we needed to diversify. We're just a small 350 acre farm with about 50 registered brown Swiss dairy cows. We could see the writing on the wall for small independently owned and operated farms like this. And of course, with my mom having just passed away, we decided to do something different with the house. So recognizing that there's a tremendous deficit between consumers and producers, there's a huge distance, almost a wall between producers and consumers. There's a lot of misperceptions about what happens on a farm versus what actually happens on a farm. And so we really wanted to bridge that gap. And so for the last 3 years, our goal has been to not only diversify the farm, but also to reach the people that we're supposed to be reaching and having relationships with in the first place, which is the consumer. The whole point of everything that we're doing here is centered around outreach. And the thing that must be said is sort of diversifying, reconnecting, breaking down that barrier between producer and consumer has done two things for us as a dairy operation. It's obviously opened up a new stream of revenue, which is crucial. I mean, we have to stay in business. But the second kind of unspoken important thing that it's done is that it's given us a new sense of purpose. And so we want to highlight that as much as possible, not only with like face-to-face interactions, but also in spoken word and also in written word. And at the end of the day, I mean, what we do here has a profound impact on everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter what your dietary preferences are. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What we do on this farm has an immediate effect on everybody that's downwind and downstream from us. And so we sort of want to capture that connection, not only with experiences here for people that want to stay, maybe get their hands dirty, hand milk a cow. We're incorporating horseback riding, trail rides, hiking trails, but then also, with the chance to connect with people, even virtually, maybe not necessarily face to face, but with a podcast, with a blog. Those are all things that we definitely want to pursue. So the farm website is farmforthought.org, and it's all one word, no letters. I'm sorry, no numbers. It's farm4 FORTHOUGHT.org. So everything sort of links through that. We've got a link to the Airbnb. We've got up and coming. We will have links to the different experiences that we're hoping to offer, and then of course the written content, the shareable content. Ultimately, just getting the word out about what we do, and connecting with as many different people as we can. And one more point that I want to make too. I mean, we are a very specific dairy operation. We farm about 350 acres of cropland. We milk about 50 cows. So as quintessentially traditional Wisconsin farm as you can possibly get. But it's not necessarily. I mean, the message that we're the message that we're formulating here isn't so much a small farm versus large farm. It's more of a producer, farmer, consumer relationship. And we work very, very closely with a lot of farms that operate, I would say, on a much more industrial level than we do. And so the point is to develop and foster these sort of symbiotic relationships. It's not one or the other. And I think, in a lot of ways we've lost that. So everything, like between the written content, the spoken content, the experiences, is definitely designed to sort of reinvigorate that and just encourage that sense of connection. It's very easy to stand here and talk about the changes that we've made over the last 3 years, but underscoring that are, all the issues that we want to talk about on a larger scale, which are depression, suicide, uncertainty about the future, all of these things that unfortunately are defining my industry at the moment. And we have been no stranger to that at all. Especially in the last few years, making the transition from a very kind of a traditional dairy operation, recognizing that there's not a huge future in that, recognizing that we needed to diversify and do, anything else. There's a tremendous amount of autonomy with that, but there's also a tremendous amount of unspoken stress and just a lot of uncertainty that goes with that. And I think that's indicative of the industry at large. So for me, it was sort of an issue that really hit home with the pressure of taking a multi-generational farm and not losing it. The statistics don't lie with that. We've had record-setting bankruptcies, record-setting farm foreclosures. We've lost record numbers of farms in the last several years. And the sort of unspoken side to that statistic is just the fact that there's an unbelievable amount of stress that goes with trying to take something that you're passionate about and moving it into the next generation.